The train heist, it was an attempt for us to one-up the classic stagecoach train robbery. We wanted to do our Fast and Furious version of that, without horses, but a whole lot of horsepower.
There is no limits on this. Every Fast and Furious has got to top the last one. And what could top a hijacking of gasoline tankers? Well, let's just hijack a train. Let's cut right through the side of the train and pull cars out of it.
The train sequence, the key for us was how much can we do practical opposed to how much was going to end up being green screen or computer generated. Could we bring in the vehicles and the train and actually do it practically? And I think we've executed that to probably 90%.
We had to get permission to basically own a piece of railroad, working railroad, and then we had to buy trains, and then we had to, build these trucks that were able to go up against the trains.
I think the train sequence was our biggest accomplishment because the heist trucks were really built from scratch, right there in our shop. A truck showed up from Industrial Metals with a bunch of steel, and from that, we built a vehicle out of it. Looking at the vehicle itself, we basically designed the suspension very similar to a monster truck with the big four-link bars and the large axles. The reason for this is we need to have tremendous durability and we need to be able to carry a lot of speed over rough terrain. They're coming through the open desert, flying this thing over crevices, over ditches, and everything else you can imagine. And of course, this whole sequence will be shot in Parker, Arizona in the middle of the summer, so that's going to be fun.
You know what? It was unbelievably hot. I mean, we saw the temperature gauge we had at base camp that was 120 degrees in the shade. Out in the sun, it was over 130. Yeah, it was very uncomfortable.
We ended up taking ice and laying it on the stuff that we were going to be jumping on and letting it cool off in between takes.
3, 2, 1, go!
I mean, that was the best thing we did.
We had the train set at 45 miles an hour. And we were set back about 600 yards with 4 stuntmen on the back, hanging on. And we'd have to catch up to the train. So this truck doesn't have a speedometer, so we're just guesstimating. So we're probably going excess of 65 miles an hour to catch up to the train, and then I'd have to slow down to 45 miles an hour to maintain that speed with it. And we take a car that weighs around 3,000 pounds and it's jerked off of the train onto the bed of my truck. You can imagine somebody just pushing the rear end of your truck on the gravel and it felt like it wanted to knock you over. It was a little nerve-wracking. When this truck was launched and jumped into the train, it was phenomenal. It was very exciting to see this truck weighing 10,000 pounds being pulled across the desert to hit a jump ramp to go into the side of a train. It's not something you see every day.
Okay, guys, train's moving. Roll, camera!
And we thought it was going to derail it when it first hit it. The train got up on its side. I thought, oh my God, it's going over.
I mean, we were like millimeters off, If it was just a little bit more push, that train would have overturned and it would have just killed the production.
But the couplings from the other boxcars locked in and it brought it back down. It was wild.
And then I wanted a car to be jumping out of the train at full speed. At one point, I think the studio was thinking that we'd have to basically replace the sequence. It was very costly.
When I first read the script, they wanted all these exotic cars, and there was a Mercedes SLR, Lamborghinis, Ferraris. There was cars that were all, in excess of $150,000, $200,000. So when you add that up, it just, blows our whole budget in one shot. So we had to come up with a cheaper alternative. So our final sequence was Corvette. I actually like my childhood favorite cars, so it all worked out well.
Once that car comes out of there, it's going to come out at about 70 miles an hour. so it's liable to be pretty violent. 3, 2, 1, go!
For the finale of the sequence, we've got to throw this Corvette off of the edge of the canyon. We used basically an air cannon and launched the Corvette into the water down below. We did it in 2 passes, one where the stunt guys jump into the water from the same platform.
Hey, here we go. Here we go. Set, 3, 2, 1, go!
And then we launched the Corvette as a separate pass for safety. And then married the 2 in post. Once Vin and Paul come up from the water, that's them. We photographed both of those guys at the actual quarry location. For their coverage of their close-ups while they're falling through space, we are using green screen. We've put the Corvette onto a motion base and robotically control its motion to simulate what the falling car does when it's traveling through the air.
So whatever they did, you know, on the training unit sequence, we need to then insert Vin and Paul and their other actors.
3, 2, 1, action!
To be able to do that, effects built a gimbal, we had our train mocked up, we had all the same elements, just now it's stationary. We could then control the environment, concentrate on story and the actor moments without having to worry about them in danger.
I've had friends come out and visit, and they're like, "You kidding me? This is what you do for a living?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you think it'd be any other way?" You know, this franchise especially, you get to play every day. And 10 years later, I'm still doing stuff that I hadn't touched before, I hadn't seen before. It's unbelievable. You realize we're talking about going up against the most powerful guy in all of Rio?
Yes, we are.
Then we're gonna need a team.
For this film, the objective was to bring in characters that you knew from other Fast and Furious films, put them all together, and have a lot of fun.
When are you gonna give Martin Luther King his car back? As soon as you give Rick James his jacket back.
This time around, there's no way we could have even thought about venturing out without bringing everyone back. Everyone has played a major part, and everyone has contributed a whole hell of a lot to this franchise that's been involved in it.
Here we go, baby, let's go!
I'm gonna be genuine and say this. I am just genuinely happy to be back. Too Fast, Too Furious is my second movie. I mean, I was in the movie with the whitest white man ever, Mr. Paul Walker. This is a straight surfer dude, blonde, blue-eyed. What's going on, dude? What's happening, dude? Where are you, dude? I love that guy. He's a true rock star. This dance right here is for Paul. You ready?
We have so many stars, so many actors. It's incredible. We have such a good chemistry, and it's fun. This is Vin Diesel, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you love him?
It's like we went to high school together. It's like the old gang back together. Yeah, usually the cars are the stars of the movie, but in this one, because we have this huge ensemble, it's allowing us to kind of think out of that box and kind of stretch that muscle.
Usually you see characters for like 2 hours and then you're out of their lives. And with us, you know, you get to see them expand for 10 years.
When things started out, we were all just a bunch of kids, and we're really happy to be there. Now, we've had a franchise that has spanned a decade. We're pretty lucky. Beyond that, I think where we were really lucky is just in assembling a cast that's so big that we all get along the way that we do.
The energy here is warm and generous. It's like going back home and, you know, seeing relatives that you haven't seen in a while.
The most important thing in life will always be the people in this room. Definitely a theme on and off screen, the theme of family.
You know that old saying, family comes first. So yes, it has been great. We've been hanging out with the cast, offset, and I mean, you know, everybody's friends, it's good energy.
Can I get some light?
Thank you, sir.
See, this is what friends are for. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is my friend, like real friend, you know what I'm saying? This is when a friend is in need, this is the type of, you just come off the top, man, like, you know what I mean?
Well, you know,
he's resourceful, extremely resourceful.
It's whatever it takes to get it done. As long as you don't get on that joint looking like Barry White's cousin.
Oh, don't worry about that, brother.
People always talk about how, you know, we're like one big happy family, and it's so cliche. But 9 times out of 10, I don't buy it. I mean, you come and hang out as a visitor on our set, and you'll see the dynamic. It's the real deal. You can't create that. That's just luck of the draw.
Careful! Learn how to drive!
Yeah, let me get this over here.
This is what it's all about, my friend.
We're all having a little too much fun. It's almost a crime to actually get paid and to have this much fun. This is all real money. This is really not a prop. This is actually Ben's safe and his money. He's a method actor. What can we say? This is what he got for the movie The Pacifiers. All right here in the book.
I don't care what mood you was in. I don't care what bad news you got before you got to this set. When you get on the set of Fast 5, it's a party.
And now to sing the national anthem, Mr. Paul Walker.
It's fun because we each have different ways of interacting with the boys. I mean, Tyrese is very playful, and he's always kidding around on set, and it's just very testosterone-filled, but on the other hand, that's really fun, and they're all good-looking guys. It's, you know, it's a very easy day at work.
We're a bunch of grown men playing pretend with just bigger toys, so there doesn't need to be an ego. I think if you can step back and look at it that way, you know, this is a gift.
And when you at home sitting up watching this DVD, I just need y'all to know that even though we're all paid to be here, we worked our asses off to make this the best Fast and the Furious you've ever seen. So we just hope you enjoy. Fast and the Furious 5. Yeah.
Look who showed up.
I wanted to continue the story. I've always envisioned this as 3 stories, starting with the first, The Fast and the Furious.
Dom, put the gun down now! No more running! I'm not running! Brian, I gotta find Jesse before they do.
Dom's character has always been a selfish character who's kind of willing to give up himself to help others that he's close to and cares about.
The Dominic Toretto character, especially in the first one, I think, you know, a lot of people maybe don't give him the credit in the sense that he really kind of humanized the whole thing, with the way he just kind of embraced and took all these street urchins in.
Dom, what up?
The audience, they really connected with him. He was just the father figure of that group. And since then, it's kind of evolved. In the third one, he made a cameo, and you got the sense that there was more of a worldliness to Dom. And in the fourth one, he actually came back, so to be able to kind of explore it with that time elapsed, and to be able to really kind of explore his relationship with Brian.
When were you gonna tell me you were running, Letty?
Let me explain.
When were you gonna...
Letty came to me to clear your name. She just wanted you to come home.
And so I feel like the fifth one, it just felt right that he became kind of like the father figure for the whole franchise.
Salute, mi familia. I think it's a testament to this franchise that we take the time to explore these anti-action scenes that are about heart and about character. Family just got bigger.
Action!
And about the growth of these characters that you know so well.
Yeah!
Good race, O'Connor.
Thanks, Don. It's always been important to Vin. He always talked about the sense of family and how critical that was, and attributed the success of the first one to that fact, you know, that it did have that heart and soul and that baseline of family and love. And in this one, you feel it.
Yeah, just like a Toretto.
The long history of all these characters together, like Dom's character and Brian, how these two people who are so different but also so similar react to any new situation.
Thought I told you to lay low.
Been running on fumes. Had to make a call.
I think that's really the fun of it.
It's always fun to see Dom and Brian working together. It's fun to see them get into their Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid zone. They're brothers, but they have issues.
had to make a call, huh?
I also think that part of the fun of it is that the most telling line in this trilogy, delivered by Letty, was in Fast and Furious.
I hear Rio's nice this time of year.
About what Fast 5 would be. Rio is good this time of year. Home sweet home. It's so amazing. This is a big shot here, and we're doing it on location, which is unique. Most films will build a set like this in the back of a lot somewhere. Nobody comes down into a barrio and does this level of stunts in the barrio.
Vin is very different from Dom, but it's really interesting. When Vin gets on the set, he becomes Dom. There is something, he just gets quieter and he gets focused.
I'd like to believe that the audience believes in what I'm doing and believes that my heart is in the characters that I play. And for people around the world and in ghettos, in underserved communities to go, there's something there for me. This guy's speaking for me somehow. The reason why we're being able to shoot here is because there's real love, deep love, a love that is between me and my people.
I am a fan of you, man. I see all those movies, really. Oh, bro.
Watch, you're gonna see it firsthand, you're gonna see it in action right now. Nobody gets to see this. Watch what you're about to see really close.
All right.
Watch what you're about to see really close.
How's it feel?
What's that?
Be on the other side of a wanted poster. In the last Fast and Furious, it was the first time where our audience started to look at Brian and analyze Brian. Hey man, really? Are you a good guy or a bad guy? And in this film, he very much has to learn how to be a criminal and learn how to run on this opposite side of the law.
And that dynamic is exciting because you've never seen Dom and Brian on the same side.
You don't have a place to hide.
Who's hiding?
The best cops make phenomenal criminals, so I think Brian's finally where he should have always been.
Kind of like old times, maybe?
Yeah, like old times. Okay, let's see what we can do here.
With Brian and Dom, there's a certain energy about it. There's definitely like a chemistry.
What is great about Paul and Vin is that you really get a sense of respect and yet at the same time competitiveness with each other.
Not this time, Dom.
It's the East meets West Coast, and I grew up living the stereotypical Southern California life. He grew up being a little bit of a hood in New York City, so two different worlds just, boom, coming together.
We're intense in different ways, so I can be really, really, really intense, and Paul is usually there to lighten us up.
I feel like Paul, he's just much more instinctual. He'll just get in the moment, get you what you need, and then you call cut, and he's like, back to being Paul.
So we're gonna do a little.
I think it's that pull and push between the two that always makes us, as viewers, interested to see what's gonna happen next.
If you're gonna survive, stop thinking like a cop. You're in my world now.
I know the action in the fifth one is bigger than the last two combined.
Yeah!
It's the best way to express who these characters are by putting them in action.
I love doing all the action.
That was a great recovery. You think Spider-Man?
I usually do all the fight stuff. In this one, I'm hopping over walls, I'm doing dive rolls.
The chase scene, the whole sequence, nothing is structurally sound. It's on a 30-degree incline. It's every problem that you can imagine.
Hang in there, Mike, someone's coming up.
To keep someone safe, you're against it.
Superman couldn't have done it better.
We were just gonna have stunt people do it. But I've done 5 pictures now with Paul.
That's it.
And so I know Paul really well, and he's just, hey, look, whatever you want to do, I'll do.
I got there and I saw this, like, this massive, like, 20-foot jump. And I was like, how am I gonna do that?
Got it. Yeah, right?
But Paul's such a pro at this, and he's done it so many times that thank God I was holding his hand, so that made it pretty easy.
Action!
That's great.
Awesome!
I come from a world where, you know, I'm a weekend racer.
These fields like real torquey. I mean, you have a lot of loin.
You know, I grew up, you know, fighting, doing martial arts and boxing and all that.
Get up, Virginia!
So I want things to be accurate and things to be on point. So
Bam.
neutral,
Yeah.
bah, and then drive and go.
And with Paul, to have an actor that has that precious relationship with the character, that's what you want to do.
Okay. All right, let's clear the roof. Here we go.
And he's really generous as an actor because we have so many scenes where we're close and when we're, you know, playing a couple, it's very, very intimate. And I was like, can you imagine if we hated each other, like how awkward this would be? But because it's been so long and because we do genuinely like each other, there's just an ease about it.
She's smart, she's funny, and that makes it easy for me. I mean, she's been my girlfriend basically for 10 years.
I think if Brian, Mia, if they don't work, the movie doesn't work. And the fifth one, they are the heart of the story.
Look how lucky we just got. What happens next time? We have no choice but to split up.
Pregnant.
When you think of Fast and Furious movies, you don't think of pregnancy. But again, that's part of what I think is exciting, to be able to take these characters and acknowledge their age, their maturity, and where they are in life.
This is the happiest I've ever seen my sister.
It's because we're free.
It's kind of cool to take the character you've been so familiar with, that you've seen grow up on cinema, and go, now you're a dad. How will you deal with that? And it's even cooler for the film to ask that question. How do you be a good dad? How will I know I'll be a good dad?
And I love that because it gives them a really nice arc. And I think a lot of the audience, they're going to be able to relate to Brian's journey.
Brian's okay with being on the run and being a criminal because for the first time, I think, in his life, he's living right. He's no longer lying. He's being true to himself. You got Brian, you got Dom, you got Mia, and at the end of the day, we're all gonna go out together if we're gonna go out.
Mark, action!
Crime scene's 10 hours old and counting, men. Let's go hunting.
I remember hanging out with Vin in New York, and we were talking about Hobbs, and we both started talking about Dwayne, and I wasn't sure what Vin's reaction was going to be, but it was great to see that he was up for that challenge.
It was a polarizing thing at first, because they were like, this is the Fast and Furious, why would you do that? But not only were Dwayne and I talking about doing something together for years, I also think there's a fantastical element to taking whatever action heroes you got on the table and put them together. That's fun for any audience.
Cut!
That's good. Working with Justin's been fantastic. I had the opportunity to spend some time with him earlier on.
But he was good because he adjusted and went with the flow.
Right. What interested me about being a part of the franchise was Justin Lin's vision for the movie and seeing how he was going to elevate the story and the great challenge of infusing a new character into this already successful franchise, but also the opportunity to get on screen with Vin and get physical and whoop some ass. Anybody knows me, that's all I need.
It was very important when we were developing and creating the character Hobbs, and to have someone of Dwayne's stature to say that he'd be interested, that meant a lot to me as a director. And that, to me, informed me what the movie could be. You know, that we were going the right direction.
Figured you're the only one in Rio who couldn't be bought. Am I right?
Yes.
Of course I am. The conversations that I was having with Justin earlier on were about this story and how important story is to me personally. I love the notion of characters having heart. We talked about creating a character like that does have layers, that eventually we'll see those layers break down just a bit and view these other characters in a different perspective.
There's a line that I really love is when Hobbs looks at Dom and said,
I'm in. I'll ride with you, Toretto. At least until we kill that son of a bitch. I think that by the end of the film, Hobbs and Toretto are more similar than they would ever have anticipated. I think it's a really, really nice payoff because that happens in life oftentimes. The way I see it, you burn yourself 24 hours. And tomorrow, I will find you. It was really fun to play and create a character that could be taken either way. It could be taken and looked at as a protagonist or an antagonist.
Is this standard evidence collecting in the States?
Woman, there ain't nothing standard about me. If you cheer the character for what he does and what he believes in, great. If you boo him, that's great too. If you have a new character that is not only formidable, but has the ability to rip these guys' head off. And I think when you have that, it elevates things. It's one of those things when the character comes on screen, you get a sense that business has just picked up.
Let's go. Thank you. Dwayne comes onto this picture, I'm gonna do everything in my power as the producer to create a well-rounded character, not just a cardboard bad guy, but a character with arcs and play up to these moments in the film.
It's for my team, you son of a bitch.
Let's wait for him to open the door and then
Just for this one.
Toretto.
I've known Vin for many years, and our approach is vastly different to filmmaking, acting, but yet at the same time, the beauty of it is we still want the same thing. We want success, and we want the product to be great.
From the very beginning, I said, you'll do nothing but shine in this. Before me shining, you will shine in this.
You're under arrest.
I don't feel like I'm under arrest.
I'll just give it a minute. It'll sink in. With something like this, though, I gave so much respect to this franchise and to the characters that have been around for a decade, and Vin and Paul specifically. So the challenge for me as an actor was making sure that the integrity of my character was protected. This character is very intense. I thought so. So even though I was friends with Vin, friends with Paul, I wasn't looking to be friends on the movie. So I wanted to maintain that. So when I came on set, it was a pretty intense set. And I liked it that way, and it was important that it stayed that way. We got the rest of our lives to be friends and buddies. We come on set, it's time to kick ass. Bring a lunch, because it's gonna be an all-day affair.
I take my hat off to Dwayne for really coming in and wanting to give to the franchise in a really good way.
It's a privilege to make movies. It's a privilege to walk on set, and I love that. And I love what I do, and I love making movies, and I love delivering it to the public. And I think that, you know, when I come on set, people feel that. That type of energy, whether it comes from me or anybody, is infectious. I approach what I do in a very grateful way.
I grew up in the 80s, and the Dwayne and Vin fight, to me, that's the equivalent of seeing Schwarzenegger and Stallone, you know, in their prime on screen, because you have Vin, who really is known as a big action star, and then you have Dwayne, who's known as a big action star.
It's not too often in decades that you could get two men who are pretty good at what they do when it comes to action and at this level of their careers and bring them together in this way.
Got together, such a fight team.
Now the challenge is, now we gotta deliver.
And with guys like Dwayne and I that are gonna slave and work 5 days in a row on this scene, unrelenting, sweat-drenched, and banging up each other, emotionally and physically taxing, it was a real sense of pride for both Dwayne and I. Nice, Dwayne, nice, Dwayne.
So the process has gotta be meticulous. And you got to make sure that you get it right. Okay. And by getting it right, it starts off with Hobbs taking his 10-ton Gurkha and running it right into and smashing the iconic Dodge of Dominic Toretto.
I wanted something big to go into the fight, and there was nothing for me better than to take that Gurkha and just crush it into the Charger.
3, 2, 1, action!
That pretty much smashed it, didn't it? Sure did.
You know, and the Charger has become symbolically linked with Dom.
That Dodge, it is an indication of the ass whooping that's about ready to take place. That is the thought process of Hobbs. I'm gonna crush the shit out of your car, just like I'm gonna crush the shit out of you. And then the fight begins. You're going down, Toretto.
I'm right here.
Ultimately, it's a great moment in the movie to see who these guys are, who Dom is, who Hobbs is, and the way they fight. On paper, maybe Hobbs is better trained. He knows more about fighting because that's his career.
He does have the training. He does have the physicality. He has the technique. There's a lot of checks for Hobbs that give him the advantage. Now, what gives Dom the advantage as well is the fact that he's fighting for his life and he's fighting for his family.
It's just a moment. So whatever we can do, and what we're doing, is to sell that his struggle, that he's about to go down, and then Mia and the team kind of shows up. I will always go put my money on someone who has something real to fight for. At the core of it, that's what the fight is about, and it took a lot of conversations.
What's gonna happen? What kind of fight is this gonna be? How big is it gonna be? How real it can be. There was a lot of time and effort and thought put into this.
And at times, we ended up having to send people home. It got so intense. I remember Vin had really wanted to discuss the merits of this one move, you know? And I said, okay, fine. I sent the whole crew home, and we just sat there. Me, Vin, Dwayne, and the stunt guys, and we just sat there and talked about it. We talked about it for 2 hours about this one move. You might think that's crazy, and it probably is crazy, but that just shows you the level of care that goes into it.
I treat this like Greek theater sometimes.
Everyone really wanted to give their all. It was really one of those scenes where everything came together. And I asked to get some rigs, and the stunt team made it happen. They brought in some great riggers. We rigged everything.
In the climax, they're coming through this big window out here, flying through the air and landing on that table. So what we've done is we've got tempered glass in here with glass breakers mounted on it. We have rubber railings here, and when they hit those, that'll swing open and allow them to fly right on out and land on that table there. And every piece on that table is rubber also. Here we have these tools that look like they're massive and heavy, but they're really fairly flexible, and hopefully. So I'm sure glad that wasn't a real one. And this is a balsa wood table. It is very lightweight balsa wood, just to guarantee that it falls apart.
All right, everybody's ready? Let's lock it up. Pictures up.
D-Mark.
Set. 3, 2, 1, go!
Holy. Wow, what a shot.
The great part about this fight is I could utilize what I have in my own personal arsenal. Years of wrestling, years of learning different combat styles from just the films that I've shot and putting it into this movie. But there's nothing like taking your fist and putting it right in somebody's face. that will stand the test of time. And ultimately, he eats my fist.
We walked away, both Dwayne and I, feeling like we had done something truly immortal. Great job. And we did it with our hearts, and we did it without our egos that could so easily play into that. We told the story, and we were true to our characters in the process. Nothing more you can ask for.
That's what I call whipping ass.
We're here on our auto plant set, and the thing that I'm excited about is that we're actually going to put the actors in the cars, and we're just going to have them run the course. One of the things that was very important to me, especially on this one, I think we try to do it on all of them, is to make sure that, you know, any kind of car movement, stunts can best showcase the cars. It's just a warm-up one. Is he gonna?
Where do you want him to stop?
Is he gonna? I think he comes out, he pull out, and he comes up to the guy.
Tighten it back up to the car.
Okay, good. So that was just a. That was just a. What was it? That was just to feel out the course.
That was just to show them, just to show the path, show everybody the path and all that. And then
But he's gonna be. You want to try one?
I don't want to. I'll try one drifting, but we wanted to have.
Not even his cameras on it, I guess. Is it?
Huh?
No. Sorry?
I just want to make sure we have different driving styles, you know?
We were
so
just
that,
talking about that.
Yeah.
Especially with this car, it's a bitch to drift.
Yeah.
This car is really sticky. It doesn't break traction, and that's what makes it really fast.
Yeah.
You know, the show and go, you know, of all the drifting and stuff is cool, but the fastest line is going to be the one with the less noise and less tire braking.
But I think the thing is, for the layman, you know, we have to be able to sell the aggressive nature. I think we had. That's why I have to see this, and I have to feel like you're being aggressive, you know, because I just want to make sure that we can, at least on film.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The thing of it is, this car, without a lot of speed, is really, really, really hard to drift. It takes a lot of power and a lot of speed.
Now let's go. Let's see what you got.
Yep.
Okay.
75%.
You want to rehearse it?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's.
All right.
So guys.
I just need to do one because I haven't driven this particular car at all except for that right there. 75%, and we'll go do it.
Yeah. Maybe
That's probably all we
just
need.
Let me know when you're ready. Okay? Even if it's 50%, then we go up one.
Okay.
Justin, the more we go, the smoother it's going to become. His tires are going to get hotter, and he's going to get more better feel. So, give him exactly, you know what I mean?
How many runs can he do? So we're gonna have to make adjustments on it. All right.
You can do as many as you need.
Yeah.
The point is,
my point is why are we being so precious with our runs? I think we should run it, and you know, because I want to know that corner. I want to know a couple things before.
Okay, hey, Oak, so you good to run one? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. You want to put them on video or not?
I think let's run one without. Let's just do it. I'll have peace of mind. I'll know what we have.
Okay, go
you know.
Just up top going around.
Oh yeah. But give it to me like you're going to get, you know, maybe 80%. Good job. You want this car to dance a little more than it is, Justin?
It has to. The whole point was I had this whole conversation about this car sliding. I gotta push that mother, man. It's like, how do we sell it? Because I get it. I get that the line is fast, but it doesn't look good on camera.
Yeah. Ready, and action.
Whoa! Start driving at its best.
So it's 75?
Yeah, that one's over there. That feels pretty good. Like it'll be a good spot. Another one?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You want another one for what reason?
I want to be more aggressive. I want to be.
Okay, guys, I don't want to.
Right, but I
damage the car. Then, so.
Well, we're gonna have to. I need to know what.
I just don't want to damage the car.
Well, I don't want to damage the car either. But I'm, things are getting shifted. I want to make sure that he's gonna have to run this quite a bit. So and you're gonna get more accustomed to it, right?
Yep.
So, let's just do one more.
Yeah, it's all better. I think it's, everyone's a little. I'm not worried, Justin. It's going to be sexy.
Yeah.
That last one it's starting to get closer to what, and as he goes more, he starts to,
I think as long as you get the feel that the character's trying to be aggressive.
Yeah.
I don't mind even if you misses. That's our first one, but it still has to.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right? Like if he's never gonna. If Rich, you're coming on the big turn.
Right here, anyways, the Porsche is pretty much straight anyways. Right?
Okay. So if wherever you feel comfortable, I want to get that real estate built up. Sure. So that when I do the shots from here and stuff, it's gonna look like you're going, it's tighter than what it is.
You're gonna get locked. You're gonna get locked here.
It's good to squeeze those in just like inside of this, right? It's fine with me because I like to have something to
look at.
To not hit, so I'd rather not hit this. You know what I mean?
Right, okay.
It helps me when I have.
Okay.
Hey Oakley, I think it's all good. How about, I'd love for it to end this way because I'm gonna see the back of what it is. But so anything you can do to preserve that, don't worry about that. That's what I'm saying, don't worry about that. Come in.
Set up for that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you. This shot is just a storytelling shot, guys. What's gonna happen is that the camera's gonna be out there with the Technicrane. You're gonna see the Porsche kind of drift in. There's gonna be 4 screens and there's gonna be 4 cameras throughout. I needed to get this shot, Vin. We're countering the camera and then with the car, so I know that we're going over your shoulder, but.
As long as it look good.
Focus right. Fix it. I think if we just start a little bit like that, if we start there, and then you know what? It felt like there was a little jerk.
Yeah, it was.
If it just kind of
because everything went together.
They can start slower. It's okay.
Yeah, no, exactly.
That's the shot. Let's one more.
It's getting better, Vince.
Right. I know, but why can't it be great the first time?
Now you're being greedy.
Yeah, you'll be greedy.
Okay. Just gonna change the lens and we'll go one more time.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready and action.
Wow. Oaks, good job, buddy.
I like that. Yeah. Let's start that.
Good.
All right, new deal.
Give it your best shot.
How was that one?
Camera caught you.
What?
Oh, yeah, that's good. Cut!
Okay, here we go. Pictures up. Roll cameras. And action.
You ready?
I'm ready.
At one point, we were going to start the movie off with a vault heist from a bank. And it kept evolving. And of course, there's always discussion about how are you going to do it? Like, we should just do it CG or whatever. And I was like, no. Let's just build what a vault would look like. And I said, let's just go out and just tow it around and see what happens.
But one of the things that came up when we first started is we said, look, you know, a real vault that comes out of a bank like that that's 8 feet wide and 10 feet long and 8 feet high has got to weigh, you know, probably close to 100,000 pounds. So it's gonna just evaporate things it hits.
I mean, we really had to dissect, break it down into a million different little shots because now you're toting this thing and people can really get hit and hurt.
The other thing that came into play was that it's hard to guide this thing. When cars come sweeping around the corner, the vault is a whiplash. It's the end of a bullwhip. And when it comes around, it really doesn't stop for anything. It knocks over parked cars and telephone poles and anything that gets in its way. That was a big issue because when you're in Puerto Rico, you can only destroy the things that you tell them you're going to hit.
What's going to happen is we're going to crash the vault through that bus stop behind you over there.
Not buildings and, you know, landmarks and things that they say. You really don't want to hit this power transformer that powers the entire city. So what we ended up doing is I built a steerable vault. We took a pickup truck, a heavy-duty pickup truck, and we sawed the entire back part of it off. So now it's a very short pickup truck. And we said, we're going to put a vault over the top of this thing. And we're going to put tiny little viewing holes on the front and tiny little viewing holes on the side. And then we're going to be able to drive it in places where it needs to steer through turns and not really hit anything. So this one that we made with the pickup truck, we stuck a guy inside of it, and we practiced with it.
That driving vault looked like a clown car, and it was just a guy driving the vault. We would loop around the freeways. The traffic would stop, and people would be staring at this vault just driving on its own. It's one of my favorite images.
The first thing in testing that we found out was that it's an oven, because we're in the middle of summer in Puerto Rico. And I know Henry Kinji, our guy that was inside it, he suffered a lot.
And you can see I'm sweating like a pig in this thing. Henry, all right. I tried to find a thermometer here for a house, but they don't sell them. So I got a meat thermometer. And I stuck the meat thermometer in there with me. And I ended up, and it was up at 135 the other day, so I was a fully cooked ham. Smoking, I was gonna say stop, but it was the last shot, and I just had to get it. Jack got some dry ice to put in there to try to keep the truck cool.
He kept passing out on us, so I went and ordered dry ice, and I put dry ice in burlap bags, and we set them all on top of the engine compartments.
This is it. This is my home away from home. My helmet, and also for air, there's this pumper that fits into the helmet to allow fresh air to come from outside to breathe. So there are quite a few things that have been done to make this workable. This is the hookup for the cool suit.
We put him in a cool suit, which is this vest that has cool water going through it and these lines that are all attached to it.
This is where they plug in, and that's that little ice chest back there has the ice and ice water in it.
And then I said, the vault takes us 15 minutes to get him in and out of it. Let's give him a toilet inside of it. So we actually took the passenger seat out and put in a portable toilet there and said, if you have to go, that's your only way out, because we're not spending 15 minutes getting you in and 15 minutes getting you out of it. It's just ridiculous.
This is the strangest thing I've ever driven. And I mean it.
To make this vault sequence actually work, we needed vaults that do different things. We've got a vault on the end of a semi-truck.
We had some that we would swing in by a crane that were just very massive and heavy.
As you can see, there's a vault underneath the crane. And this is our pendulum swinging wrecking ball vault.
the vault that went through the bank, the shape of the vault is square. It's not meant to roll.
Spikes ahead, Don. We got spikes. We're going right.
You had to get the vault up to a certain speed so it would tumble.
I'm building a special vault for this scene. It has an axle running through the middle of it. A vault will be mounted on a carriage at a 45-degree angle for run-up. On action, the tow truck is going to tow the 2 ropes that are pulling it, and it'll get up to speed on a run-up track and finally crash through the windows, at which point we'll trip it and it'll start to tumble on its own.
Guys, I'm hearing all this chatter. Did you just take out a bank?
I had stunt people inside the bank building, and I said on action, this huge thing is going to pull this tumbling vault through there. It's not going to stop for anything. And the entire bank building is going to be decimated. But I said, I want you all, the bodies in front of the camera. Well, when we yelled action and this thing started tumbling through here, it was like a battering ram. It came through, tumbling through, and there was glass everywhere and chunks of metal going everywhere. We had people running all the different directions. And you never know if a 10-foot piece of I-beam is going to tumble through and hit one of the stunt people. But I think it's an enormous event for us to be able to get through that with nobody getting hurt, because there were a lot of unknowns in that bank vault sequence. There were a lot of things that could have gone wrong, but we had luck on our side.
Another thing that was a challenge is the bridge sequence. There was so much going on this bridge. I mean, you had 14 cars, I think, head on with this vault, either being crushed, destroyed, flipped, knocked in the air, knocked off the bridge, falling 30 feet into the water below, 2 cars at the same time. I mean, cars being decapitated.
We thought about the roof sharing only because I had done that a few other times with Spiro, and we knew that a cable strung at that tensile strength, if you tried to get underneath it, it's going to go across the hood, and it's going to cut through the roof like butter. And Doc Charbonneau, who was going to do this, he's one of our shorter stuntmen. And I said, you know, that's where the cable's coming through. You have to be over before that, or you're losing your head.
What's your primary concern? Get down!
Ready? And action!
When you see the cameras, he literally lays over a millisecond before the cable comes through and shears the roof off. Now, we had cables attached to the roof of the car that pull the roof of the car off and get it away from him. But those cables are also life-threatening as well, because anytime they snag on anything, they're going to take flesh and bone and everything with it. So that was a tough one for us, because when you put a real human in there, it's life-threatening. But we did 3 takes of that, and he was great in all 3 of them.
We really broke our budget on this one with the cars. There's a point where I've just said, please don't tell me anymore. I don't want to know. It's too much. Please don't destroy any more cars. But I'm so proud of that sequence. The vault heist at the end of the movie. It's like nothing I've ever seen.
Man, Tyrese, I want to welcome all of y'all to the set of Fast and the Furious 5. Fast 5. I'm gonna give y'all and show y'all the inside scoop.
Hey, Tyrese, we're waiting for you. Come on.
All right, it's multiple takes, multiple angles. It's a lot of energy. Sometimes it's no energy. That's a lot of dialogue. I'm gonna need my acting coach to get this together, okay? What I was saying was, welcome to Fast and Furious 5, behind the scenes, your man Tyrese. If you love me, I love you. Y'all stick around, I got some scoop for you, baby. One. Hi, I'm Tyrese, and this here is the director of this masterpiece, Mr. Justin Lin. Fix your face. This is the place where it gets real wild. This is serious stuff around here. He's shy, he ran away, but I'm gonna get him back on camera. He ran away for a minute, but I'm gonna get him back on camera. Watch this. Fast 5.
Here we go, pictures up.
Fast 5. Tyrese TV, exclusive.
That's
So we're gonna do another take right now. It's gonna be a special effects shot with the scooter, okay? And I'm Vin Diesel, so give me a second. We're gonna stop right here. Hey man, what did he just say? Here we go, here we go. Here's the guy. How you doing, buddy? You good? You speak English? How's the day going? It's okay?
Korea.
Korea. I'm just gonna roll. All right, that's cool. Got any plans for lunch?
Korea.
Korea? That's, you know any other words other than
Korea?
All right, so what's going on right here in the background is I got this big action scene coming up. Go ahead, you good. You can keep going, it's good. So I got to come up in here and then I got to get into a big fight scene with Paul. And then they got the spark in the back. You know, and then the director, he says cut or whatever. This is good TV right here. Tyrese TV, exclusive. Yeah, there he is. What's up, big fella?
Howdy, man.
My man.
You all right today? Feeling good?
I feel good. I'm just trying to get some clarity on this stunt. You want me to hit Ben? Like, how is that going to play out? I mean, he's so much bigger than me.
I think you could take it. I think you got faster hands than him.
Just come up in there with it?
Yeah, exactly.
This stunt man right here taught me is he said, listen, when you do it, you got to come across the face. So we're going to rehearse for you guys and show y'all. If you come to this angle right here, you can see how much space is in between the punch. But if you come over here, this way, and you got to react, okay? Watch this. See?
Work, right?
See?
Yeah. Right.
See?
Yeah.
See? Now you just got to add the sound effect in there afterwards, and now we're making movie magic. Thank you so much for your time.
You know this guy?
I don't really know what them other TV shows are going to look like, but I guarantee you they're not going to outdo Tyrese TV, baby. This is where it's at. This should be like a 3-hour special. Tyrese TV, exclusive. This is Vin's, his workout trailer right here. I did a workout, and I was like, oh, Vin left like maybe 4 or 5 muscles just laying around. Okay, and here's the man himself. So Vin, I was telling him that this is a part of the process. This is the formula, you know. In between takes, I took me an energy drink. I came over here. You let me use your trailer to work out. I just wanted to say thank you, you know.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
Tyrese TV, exclusive. Hold on, man. Hold on.
What up?
He's got some real ghetto. He's brought his dog to the set.
What up, Ty TV? I'm doing a little obedience training around this thing. Zeke. Zeke.
Okay, he's speaking to his dog in a different language.
Say what's up to everybody. Loud. He's just saying what up to everybody, that's all.
All right.
What's up, Ty TV? We chilling. We just chilling. Oh, he don't like me raising my voice.
So what language is that you speaking to the dog in?
Right. That's called Luda language.
All right, okay, well, I'm leaving.
What you doing?
This is some real ghetto shit happening. Fast and furious. So we're here, we grinding, you know what I'm saying? Focus is here, baby. I'm happy to be a part of this, man.
Say Ty TV, what is this, man? You got paid for this?
No, this is for you.
No money? Hold on, man, let me touch you.
Okay, cool.
That's the contract stuff, right? Hold on.
Yeah. Tyrese TV, exclusive. You having fun, man? Let's talk about this movie, man. We back.
Yeah, no, we are back, man. I feel good about it. There ain't no telling how many sequels we may have, man. We may surpass Jason around this time. Now The Rock is in it, so it could be Vin versus The Rock in this one. You know what I mean? Then it can be you versus The Rock, then me versus The Rock.
I don't really know if it'll be believable that me and you will win if we like went up against them.
When you fighting, it's all up in here. It's
really?
About the mind.
Show me a strategic move. If you were to fight The Rock, what would you do?
Let me tell you something. Your mind is a very powerful tool. You are extremely strong. Some people don't even realize how much power their mind holds. See, watch this. With my mind, I'm gonna move this camera up. Just with my mind. Watch this, watch this.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you for all the love while I'm here, baby. Appreciate my go-kart, appreciate the trailer. It's love, baby. Tyrese TV, exclusive.
Mine is yours.
Fix your face.
I'm gonna go eat lunch.
So look at that. I told you, dog. Don't play with me, man. Now I'm gonna get back to mind training my dog, because you know what I mean? He wasn't listening all the way. And I'm gonna get on him.
Yes,
you
sir.
get back to what you do.
Yes, sir.
I'll holler at you on Fast and Furious 15.
Thai TV, baby.
15, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.